saatnya kita raih mimpi setinggi angkasa. Kini kau pasti bisa. Ku yakin kita bisa tunjukkan pada dunia bahwa kita sang juara. Yakinkan pada dirimu untuk berikan yang terbaik. You're the best and be the number one. Inilah saatnya kita raih mimpi setinggi angkasa. Kini kau pasti bisa. Berjuta langkah kita untuk meraih asa, dengan jiwa dan semangat yang membara. Ku yakin kita bisa tunjukkan pada dunia bahwa kita sang juara. Yakinkan pada dirimu untuk berikan yang terbaik. You're the best and be the number one. Bersama kita bisa untuk meraih kemenangan. Bersama kita bisa untuk meraih kemenangan. Ku yakin kita bisa tunjukkan pada dunia bahwa kita sang juara. Yakinkan pada dirimu untuk berikan yang terbaik. You're the best and be the number one. Yakinkan pada dirimu untuk berikan yang terbaik. You're the best and be the number one. You're the best and be the number one. You're the best and be the number one. You're the best. You're the best and be the number one. Yakinkan pada
All right, hello guys, hey, welcome to Porsimaptar Virtual Festival. And right now we're currently on the semifinal of the speech competition. Give ourselves some applause. Come on guys, you guys deserve it. Okay, I'm pretty sure you guys have known my friend Ben for a while now. And I guess you guys are saying that it's kind of scary and stressful. But don't worry, not all cops end like that. And today I am one of the examples. And today, me, Deji Rajwani, is joined my great friend, Stefanus Wisnu.
Hey guys.
Stefanus Wisnu.
Great to see you all. And first of all, we would like to say congratulations for all of the participants that have made it through to the semifinal, because there are only 10 of you, which is very, very special, right, Degi?
You guys are the best of the best in Indonesia right now. You guys are really awesome.
Right, so let's just carry on with our next event. This is semifinal of the speech competition, and let's start with the judges. Who are our judges, Degi?
I don't know. Well, the thing is, let's just get to know our judges first now, shall we?
Right.
Roll it up, Roland. Now, for our three judges, we first have Miss Rabita Madina. Miss, if you may, we would like to see you now.
Hi everyone, just to make sure that I'm clearly audible, can anybody hear me?
Yes, you are
Yes, we.
very audible. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
apologies for the loud background. Good afternoon everyone. My name is Rabita Medina and you can call me Gita. It's really nice to see some familiar faces today from yesterday. So congratulations for making it this far to the semifinals. I really am looking forward to some unique performances today that are beyond mediocre. So I bet all of you will perform and provide the judges with a lot of improvements based on the comments that we have given you guys yesterday in the score sheet. So I wish you all luck. And a little bit of my background. This is the third speech competition that I has ever judged in my life. And previously, in terms of speech, I have done, I think, around 14 or 15 speech competitions in the past 4 years. So the fact that you guys are all here today, it really proves that what I've been seeing from you guys from 2 days ago was with some good performances, and I really look for a lot of improvements today. Thank you.
Okay, for our second judge, we have Judge Habiba Hasna Hermandi. If you would.
Hello all. My name is Biba. You can call me Biba. I just witnessed some great speeches earlier yesterday. It was really, really entertaining. I mean, like, it's such a great idea to stay active. It has been such a difficult time, yet you guys managed to stay, active and involved in activities like this. All in all, I'm really enjoying this. A little bit background so that you know me. And I have not been competing on speech competitions for a very long, a little bit startled that people ask me, but I'm very happy to be here, and I can't wait to see all this performance. Good luck. Hello?
Yes, we heard you very loud and clear.
Thank you
you
so
very
much,
much.
Kak Habiba, for your insights. And then the next one, the last but not least, we got Kak Amanda Margaret. So if you may, Kak Amanda, if you have anything or two for our contestant today.
Yeah, hi everyone. I hope my voice is audible enough. So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Crystal.
Great, okay. I would like to keep this short. So hello, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the comedy for inviting me to judge some really cool and awesome guys that can actually do amazing speeches. That the ones that I saw yesterday was like so amazing, and I'm looking forward to really see you guys today. I think a short introduction that I would really like to give you guys. I actually come from Universitas Diponegoro, and I'm actually a naval architecture engineering student. And I am not. I would like to give like a disclaimer for you guys. The fact that I'm actually co-vol with you, I'm not really higher in anything than you, and I would like to just state that every single of us is actually learning here, and I would love to have a lot of insights coming from you guys. And I'm looking forward for more amazing speeches. So yeah, good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kak Amanda. And now, Degi, can you tell us again about our order of performing today? Because maybe our participant might forget or something. So Degi, if you may.
Oh, of course they forgot, dude. Last night was so intense. Even I got the heebie-jeebies.
I know, right?
Yeah, it was so intense. Like, I don't know. Dude, let's just chill, okay? It's okay. Not all of us police are stiff, but just say that last night was a little bit of a taste and how the police system works in Indonesia. Okay, so the more of you guys experiences. So now,
Right.
in the order that is, first we have Natasha Ratu Amanda from the Institut Pemerintahan Dalam Negeri or IPDN, our great neighbor. And for the second one,
The second one, we got Hervina Adanita from Universitas Gajah Mada, UGM. The next one,
we have Yeremia Samuel from Sekolah Tinggi Teologi Satya Bhakti.
and then the fourth, we got Asia Juneva Paraswati from Politeknik Penerbangan Indonesia, Curug.
Next, we have the beautiful Ivanka Basarina Panjaitan from LSPR.
And then the next, we got Junior Lumintang from Universitas Patimura.
Next, we have David Aditya Summer, Politeknik Negeri Semarang.
And number 8, we got Igusti Agung Ngurah Wirdana Putra from Institut Pemerintahan Dalam Negeri, also from IPDN.
The next, we have Zalfa Nafi Kusuma Dewi from Communication and Business Institute, LSPR.
And then the last but not least, we got another one from Bali, Gusti Andika Pratama from Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. And that is all for our 10 participants from today's semifinal. Now, Degi, what else do we have to do before we can watch or we can see all the performance of our participants today?
Well, if you ask me, I would like a cup of coffee.
Right.
Aren't we all, huh?
Wow, right. Okay. So I guess without any further ado, let's just call for our first participant, perhaps?
Yes, let us call our first participant. Remember, it is a competition when we all are learning to be a better versions of ourselves. So
Wow.
it's okay to make mistakes, guys, because we are all learning here. So yeah, good luck for me and my friends. Very much. Very good luck if I can say. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get on the competition.
For Kak Natasha Ratu Amanda,
Yes, I'm ready.
whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, thank you. Will you sign or should I just start right away?
You can start and the time will be shown afterwards. It will start whenever you say your first word.
Kazakhstan, October 2019. A 14 years old girl went to bed listening to music, and the next morning she was found dead right after her phone's battery is said to have exploded right to her head. It blows my mind, right? I mean, a thing that created from a brilliant mind of a human being could definitely kill another creature as we are, just by a snap or our fingers. Ladies and gentlemen, from a small phone to a smartphone, before we even realizing it, we grow up with this thing. It helps us to be the individual that we are now. There are a lot of things that we can do just by scrolling down to an application inside it. For an example, we can order foods, clothes, books, or even a simple bottle of water. Among 7 billion of people in this world, I really am sure that almost all of us have our own sophisticated technologies. Well, if there is anyone in this Zoom meeting think my opinion is wrong, you can raise your hand and I definitely will take back my words. Let's just count it as trash talking. So, we are living in the era that allows us to use a technology that we also known as artificial intelligence, which is a technology that plays a very important role for these past years. It helps us to do a lot of things, like I've said before, even more than we can imagine. These technologies could definitely improve our efficiencies of work. It even can replace us anytime and anywhere. A report from PricewaterhouseCoopers shows that 4 out of passwords have a big opportunity to be replaced by robots. From a survey that says that in 2013, almost 38% of works in the USA will be replaced by robots and artificial intelligence. It will happen in many more big countries. It's happening because the companies think that it is way more easier and helpful to use their technologies than human. Well, we all know that artificial intelligence is a technology that has an intelligence level almost as good as human. That's one of the reasons why those technologies really do give a significant impact on work. As a young girl, I never thought that the things that I will do in the future will be this easy just by using those technologies that were made from humans' minds and hands. Everyone can feel the positive impact that caused by it. But we have to remember Newton's third law, which is when there's an action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. It means that we have to be responsible for the thing that might happen after we're using the technologies. We have to think straight away about the consequences that might happen because of using the technologies. So, what I'm saying is, if we're using the technologies, we have to know that what goes around comes back around. We shouldn't just let ourselves get controlled by it. Sometimes the technologies make us forget about the purpose of it in the first place. We have to know better about the technologies, why we need it, why those technologies were made, and what thing that happened after using the technologies. It really is important to know such things because we have to know better about the thing that we use because it could make us as a weapon that could definitely make us get through a trap. A trap that can show us unexpected things that could definitely impact our work and our environment. As a young generation, we have to show the world that we can control it, not they that control us. We are the young generation that will take over the main role of anything that will happen to our world in the future. We have to show them. We have to show them that we can. We have to remember that we are the leaders of tomorrow and we shouldn't just be focused on the things that happen today. We can change the world along with us changing ourselves. Change the way we think, change the way we feel, and think about the action that we take. The action that we take will give impact to our world. As days go by, our world around us will continue changing as we are. People don't know what's inside our incredible mind. They cannot control our mind. We are responsible for our own mind. They cannot just guess what thing that we can do and tell us to do this and that. Hello guys, this is our era, this is our generation. We are the one who should take over all of those technologies. Show them. Look forward. Look for those amazing things that could happen for ourselves and our world. Mahatma Gandhi once said that we may never know what result can happen by our action. But if we do nothing, we got no result. I am Natasha Ratu Amanda from Governance Institute of Home Affairs, standing here, believing in our generation. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for your kind attention, and I hope to see you guys again in the next round. Goodbye.
Okay, that was our first speaker, Natasha Ratu. She spends time 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, for the next ones that's about to start their speeches, to avoid any further miscommunication, please state that hold your hands up and say, "Am I audible?" and talk the things that you want to say before you start the speech. Perhaps you want to ask a help from the judge or something like that. But of course, as in the case of Natasha Ratu, she spends time 6 minutes and 40 seconds. When she starts, yes, the timer was at 6:40, but it was just a simple miscommunication. And the fact that she only spends time 6 minutes and 40 seconds. A great speech. So perhaps we would like to say, I mean, we would like to hear something from one of our judges. Aren't we, Wisnu?
Yeah, very much, because we would want to know about what they think about this speech. Because of course we just think it's really good, but what about the judges? So Degi?
Yes, please, sorry, Judge Amanda, if you may.
Yes. Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Yes.
crystal.
Okay, so I would like to give my greatest applause to Natasha Ratu Amanda. You delivered a great speech. You have a very good and clear articulation and intonation. I think those are several aspects that you need to be complimented about. You have the correct way of stressing important words in each sentences, and I really do appreciate you for that. Also, you delivered an interesting content, especially for people in our age right now. So I think it's very important for people to know such thing. But one thing, and I would like to keep this short because I think overall you have delivered a great speech, but you still need to actually make it look a lot more natural. Because sometimes I could still think how it looks kind of quote unquote scripted, and you kind of memorize all of the content. And I think the way to do it is to actually work your way through your points instead of the whole paragraph of reading out through your process of practicing and stuff like that. Even though I acknowledge the fact that you have I believe that you have practiced so much, and then you managed to actually deliver such great speech. But I think a lot more natural way of delivering it will work good, like putting people's attention on you in that way. Also, I think the second point is that your eye contact needs to be a lot more consistent in this one, because I know that you had a really great eye contact, but I think you need to be a lot more consistent in doing it. But overall, it's already been a great speech, and I really do applaud you for that. Thank you so much for this one. So I think that's enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kak Amanda, for a little insight for our participants. Now, Degi, who's our next contestant?
Yes, moving on onward from Natasha. Now we would like to call our next participant. We would like to call Herr Fina Aditya from
Adanita.
Universitas. Oh sorry, sorry, Adanita from Universitas Gajah Mada. Time is yours.
Sorry, Hervina, you're still muted.
Sorry, we can't hear you
Right.
yet.
Right. Wait,
Yeah. You're good to go.
am I? Oh, okay. Wait. Can I? So, what is the rules? Shall I raise my hand if I want to start the speech, or?
Yes, please raise your hands when you're about to start the speech, so we would start the timer more accurately. Thank you.
So, is my voice already clear if I'm standing right here? Or
Yes, your voice is
Yeah,
very
it's
clear.
clear enough.
Right. Okay. Wait. All right. Okay. If there is one thing that we can predict about this life, then it is unpredictability. As you all can virtually see right now, this remarkable moment in my life for having a, I would say, rare chance to share my voice, opinions, and ideas directly to the outstanding judges and also the honorable committees and all of you all respected audience was never even a second come crossed my mind before. Honestly, I must admit that this is some other quote unquote chapter of my life that is actually has been planned. Yes, obviously, but still the result is unpredictable and totally uncertain. Matter of fact, this is me, myself, and I that you're trying to pay attention to right now. Now, reflect this experience to yourself. Initially, I would like to dare you all to imagine. Imagine jumping out of a skydiving plane and suddenly discovering that your parachute cannot work normally as it is supposed to. My fellow jumpers, now in this case, it is understood that previously you may have rationally planned to challenge your adrenaline or adding another unforgettable experience in your life, yet still some uncertainties and unpredicted occasion may still beat you up hard right in the face without hesitations, right? Thus, in regards to that, what is going to be your first possible rational actions that spontaneously flash out of your mind? Probably fixing your guarding position so that your head won't hit hard the surfaces, or changing your wind directions from north to the west so that you can possibly choose to fall in the tender surfaces. Actually, whatever you can name it. The thing that I want to emphasize is that these several attempts that you may pursue in terms of survivability is referred to as coping with the unpredictability. So before we discuss it further, I want to clarify that all the metaphor suppositions we have previously imagined together is simply elaborating on how I defining life. Moreover, it is what I meant as one of the best way to describe the life that we are all living this day. You see, when it comes to everything in life, we are actually only granted a certain amount of predicted occasion and certainty. Normally, we fill this part with planning, research, and actions. But for instance, we have weighing the risk, also pros and cons for the wedding day, or determining a goal to have a bachelor degree maybe for only 3 years, etc. But no matter how much you have planned it carefully, you still cannot plan for everything thoroughly. In fact, there are thousands, even billions different areas where you need to accept the unpredictable event simply because there will be always something that is outside of your control. In short, it may describe as the area that is out of your plan, such as maybe car accident and COVID-19 pandemic, of course. This is where the process of acceptable, thereby embracing the unpredictability and uncertainties become crucial. Personally, this understanding actually develops through my process of self-recognition, which suggests that a predictable kind of life was never the life for me. Further, an acknowledgement of this fact that the only thing that is consistent in life is changes and also uncertainty has pushed myself to embracing a little unpredictability in my life. You see, many emotional and many productivity tips out there aim to equip us with sort of encouragement to face the current era we are facing today. Honestly, has been entirely overwhelming. That was all brilliant and encouraging, I would admit, but we often forgot the main core issue, which is to simply keep us sane as a human being instead of always trying to maximizing our optimizations. In other words, the phrase push yourself to the limit should be absent, especially amidst this uncertain era where anxiety, nervous, and emotional moments are inevitable. However, of course, being productive and keeping your daily routine in a stable manner is totally impressive. And if you can maintain it and balance it well, then big thumbs up for you. But you also need to get used to the fact that, again, there are so many things in life that you cannot control. The sooner you realize this, then the sooner you will start to adjust and adapt with the unpredictability in life and can change your plan accordingly. So no matter what kind of unpredictability and uncertainty that happens to your life, you always have a choice on how would you react to it and how would you respond in those moments. But as we are heading into even more uncertain times, why don't we try to embrace the good in being unpredictable? Ultimately, this is actually a meeting since I was raised to be comfortable with changes. But changes is also a way of life. You're going to learn to ride the waves or get caught in the undertow. The choice is yours. Matter of fact, if everything in life always goes as planned, then where is the interesting part? How can we even get the chance to learn to utilizing such app like Zoom, WebEx, and all? Appreciating distinct communications if we do not experience this truly unpredictable moment of COVID-19 pandemic. To sum up, to roleplay this era of uncertainties, then the best suitable manners to navigate it is by embracing an unpredictability in your life, meaning that it is absolutely okay to not knowing what you're going to do tomorrow or having no idea of what you are going to take holiday to this year. You can also simply just do nothing in a day, seriously. Have a day where you have nothing to do and be open to whatever comes to you, may add the amount of unpredictability in your life, which will result in something exciting. Thus, it will train yourself to be calm, even when facing some changes. Eventually, you will be able to rationally and naturally coping with the unpredictability in your life. One important thing to leave you all with, just be confident and trust yourself enough to keep on moving. As quoted by inspiring Martin Luther King, he said, if you can fly, then run. If you can walk, then crawl. By all means, keep on going towards your direction in life. Then again, the most feasible way to navigating through this unpredicted yet uncertain era is to do the best you can. Make sure that you are always on the way to your direction in life, no matter how many traffic lights that you have found. Most importantly, embrace the unpredictability and understood that everything else is out of your control. So we are finally have come to an end. Hopefully you can enjoy the predictably unpredictable nature of life, as it truly can be an awesome ride. Thank you very much for your attention. My name is Selvina Danita from University of Gajah Mada University, and I hope that by hearing me talking for 7 minutes is not a waste of your time. Thank you. Sayonara.
Thank you so much, Hervina. Your time is 7 minutes, 20 seconds.
Right on time. Right on time indeed.
God,
Yeah, what a great speech. And
thank you.
I would like to go skydiving as well, to be honest. Want to try that for once
It would
in my
be
life.
really fun though, right? Especially
Yeah,
during this
would be
pandemic.
really fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully I don't poop myself.
Right. Anyway, let's hear
Okay.
it from one of our judges for Kak Habibah Hasnah, if you may.
Okay, first thing first, love it because I find it very, very, what do you call it, relatable. We're facing a lot of like uncertainty at the point, things get unpredictable, and to practice this mindfulness to just strive to the life as it is, it's something that we are, we're holding dear to our life. But I guess one of the key things that I feel is that I can feel your nervous energy. And here is the tips that I got from, I don't know, doing public speaking for the last couple of years. When we're nervous, we will speak faster. When we're nervous, we don't make good pace toward the idea that we actually have inside of our head. So when we are nervous, I guess this is like a general tips for everyone, not just for you, but like when we're nervous, there are two things we can do. Is first one, we're gonna take a deep breath before that speech, which is like, and we hope that all that nervous energy go out, and we smile. Because apparently when we smile, all those nervous energy will go out. But I thoroughly enjoy your speech. I think it's a very good one, and good job.
Thank you so much, Kak Habibah, for your commentary and your insights. And we really appreciate everything that you give. And we would like to remind all of the participants that make sure you guys have a stable connection, because if you have any connection problem or maybe you are disconnected from this room chat, it might be a really huge problem, and we might be able to stop the time, but just be sure that you guys have a stable connection in your house right now. All right, Degi, what do we got next?
Well, of course, we're gonna call the third participant, dude.
Right.
For our third participant, we have Jeremiah Samuel. For the time and place is now yours.
Okay, I can't see myself. Okay. Am I clearly audible and you can clearly see me?
Crystal clear.
Okay. Talking about generational growth, I can't help but remember the time when I had a chapter in my life where I hated to have any extra growth everywhere. Back then, I was 173 centimeters tall and I weighed 86 kilograms. It's safe to say that I was a little bit more jiggly back then. I was also in a really awkward phase of a relationship. I'm just gonna call it plating, platonic dating. So we go out to eat, we go to movies, but we don't really know where the relationship is going. So yeah, it's called platonic dating. But one day, this person asked me out for Valentine's Day dinner. And after I internally screamed and fake checked my schedule, I said yes. And the day came and I put on my best black button up shirt and slathered myself with whatever cologne I could find in my dorm room. And then we went to this really, really fancy, for me, it's really fancy restaurant. It's really expensive. I'm not gonna tell you the name, but it rhymes with Pizza Huts. And well, we ate, and I actually ordered dessert. My favorite dessert, a triple chocolate cream cheese waffle with extra ice cream. Yes. Now, right after I ordered the dessert, this person actually took out a box and gave it to me. And when I opened it up, inside was the most gorgeous blue The Executive suit. It had white stripes on it. It's gorgeous. And when I took it out, the tag actually fell out and it showed me not only the ridiculous price tag on this thing, but also the size. Now, this person had the nerve to ask me to put the suit on. And after a long debate of why I should not be wearing this suit, I finally had to tell the person that it was just way, way, way too small. Might as well cut off my circulation if I put this on. If I button it down and breathe, someone could lose an eye from the flying button. And this person actually said, I know. Yeremia, there's a gap between like and love. And I think it's just about 20 pounds away. If you could lose just enough weight to fit into that suit, I'm sure I'm gonna fall in love with you. I was like, and here comes the dessert that did not look as good as it did in my mind. I was so ashamed. It was horrible. And I hope none of you has experienced this kind of humiliation. But sadly, I'm sure every one of us has been through an experience where it feels like shame is heaping on us. Whether it is abuse or violence, it's shame. And it is exactly shame that is stopping us from growing into what we are supposed to be in this world. An article in the Journal for Social Studies from APTA Association back in 2019 stated that what is happening is a shame global epidemic. And it's not airborne, it's social media born. What is stopping us from growing as a generation into becoming what the world needs us to be is undermining our own values by listening to the shame being heaped on us. The world is so full of opinions, so full of things, so full of people telling us we're not good enough, so much words saying shame on you. But today, I want all of us to declare together with me shame of every single part of us. Shame of the texture of our hair. Shame off the tone of our skin. Shame off the shape of our body. Shame off our sexual orientation. Shame off our gender identity. Shame off our values and views and our progressiveness. Shame off everything. It is a value we must hold dear. It is our responsibility to love ourselves and others. So please, for the sake of generational growth, share the love. It's free. And I believe when we truly love ourselves enough and be brave enough to embrace our mistakes and our shortcomings, look into our past, learn from it, and let it go, we will be able to grow as a generation for the good of the world and our future. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Jeremia Samuel. Your time is 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Hey,
Great.
I used to be very fat as well when I was a kid. And every time we have these family gatherings, my family would give me a gangster name. You know what that name is? They would call me too fat just to make a shame on me.
Actually, that's a cool one. Too fat with number 2 on it.
Yeah,
That's
like
cool.
that. Okay, let us hear a little insight from one of our judges. If I may, please, Mr. Wisnu, if you may.
Oh, right. For Kak Rabita, maybe you got something for our contestant. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Wisnu. Am I audible?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so a very good speech, Jeremia. Kudos to you. Again, it was very touching. It was very relatable, and your introduction was very intriguing. And quoting what Manda said during the first performance, I also like speeches that are very naturally delivered. So even though, and this applies for all of you, even though there is a script behind your performance, a good public speaker is the one that is able to deliver it as if it comes from their own wording naturally without giving the idea that it was fully scripted. So a very natural speech. I think to improve a little bit, if you were to make it to the finals tomorrow, pay attention on your substance as if you're trying to appeal to your audience 100% by relying on your experience and trigger of emotions, maybe not all audience could relate to the same emotions that you're feeling. And putting a little bit of logic and reasoning as to why we should have the same emotions as you would make it a lot better. But overall, it was really good, and all the best to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karabita, for the comment and for the insight. I'm a really huge fan, by the way. Next up, Degi.
Yes, let us call our fourth participants in the order. That is Asya Junefa Paraswati from Politeknik Penerbangan Indonesia Curug. Time's yours.
Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Yes,
clearly.
you are audible. More than enough.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the time and the opportunity that is given for me. In this opportunity, I would like to talk about the Gen Z and the technology. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, Generation Z is generation for those who were born between 1995 to 2010, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is rapidly developing technology is what this generation is famous for. Technology is also affect our social and science lifestyle. Other than that, this generation is also famous for their freedom of speech. Gen Z can freely say their opinion in the platform they are famous for. For example, Twitter. With just a tweet, a single person can influence others to believe and totally persuade without even asking or realizing for the background of the speakers. Besides tweeting, there are also more ways we can deliver our opinions. Let's say posting photos on Instagram with inspiring captions, from making travel vlogs on YouTube to make tutorial on how to brush your teeth properly on TikTok. These are insane. Imagine the power we hold. Every single Gen Z has the platform in which they can voice their opinion and ideas. You only need to open your phone and social media. We should be very grateful of what we can do. Our parents, our grandmas, even the generation before that would be totally envy of us today. I remember what my mom told me about days in the past when she tried to say her opinion. She said, at the time, you are seen, but you are not being heard. Unfortunately, let me tell you about the threat that is waiting ahead. Hawks. Yeah, because everyone easily trusts on you, put beliefs on you, there are many ways to scam each other, easy ways. Take an example. I'm an aircraft engineering cadet of PPI Curug. I heard and read about some COVID-19 news. I give my opinion on articles about COVID-19 and blew everything up as if I were a doctor or a nurse or an epidemiologist or someone related to COVID-19. People believe me and keep updating on my comment. With a little touch of lie, boom, voila, the hoax is made. People can easily fake the news and they didn't even know the fact and we could easily trust them. But that's one thing from a social media aspect. And the other thing is science. We've seen so many age advancements today, from the development of mobile phones, gadgets, and even households. Thanks to the inventor, because of their magnificent innovation and ideas, our lives has become a lot easier than people in the past. But wait, don't we realize that this technology is making us lazier, unproductive? Didn't mean to say this, but these things have been overtaking lots of human tasks. For example, e-toll on the highway, fingerprint attendance system, and don't forget the smartphones. You could say that you don't agree with me, that your smartphone helped you so much. You could get fresh meat, fresh vegetables from your bed, online shops from your bed. You could do your homework easily by surfing on people, on Google. You could do anything easily by smartphones. Now, I got you. But are we aware by the fact that we are relying too much on technology? Yes, it helps us a lot with what we do, with our homeworks, but do we really need to learn those things that we look for on the internet? Wake up now, wake up. We can't let the smartphone outsmart it ourselves. No, and never. Do we really want to totally substitute human job with robots? Imagine if the world is only filled with robots. What are we doing in this world when the robot has taken over it? Here's an idea on why God created us. God created us all into the world because God believes that we can take care of the world to a better place. He doesn't prohibit it to innovate and create robots. But there are also things that human can do and technology can't. Like, for example, emergency and innovation. Let's take an example on autopilot. If an autopilot failed, then the decision making from human is needed. Now, we already know about the impact of technology in our lifestyle, but what do we have to do? Here's my solution. First, be wise. Use your freedom of speech wisely. Freedom of speech is not only for freedom to talk, but also freedom to have ideas, freedom to share your ideas, freedom to having your own opinions. Use your social media like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube for positive and inspiring content. Second, keep innovating. This helps for the social and science aspect. When we keep ourselves innovated, we are making sure that the technological development is still going on. Because without innovation, there won't be ideas and there won't be any development. Don't ever feel like you are already spoiled enough by the development. There will always be new things to explore, and the world will not be satisfied with the existing developments. Don't let the technology pulling us toward laziness, pulling us down, destroying us. Because with laziness, there won't be progress for a better world. I'm Asha Junifa from Indonesia Aviation Polytechnic. Hope my solution can make us more aware of our privilege and aware of the impact. Thank you for your attention. Stay safe, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, that's our speech from Asha. She spends time 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, we would like to say again to remind all of the participants that remember, no, any form of text are not allowed in the semifinal, and your eye contact really does matter. So keep your eyes on the camera, okay? So the judges can see your eye contact better. Of course, that the participant that just performed will be taken into consideration. Thank you very much. Now, we would like to call for one of our judges to give a comment.
Right, for Kak Amanda, if you may.
Okay, am I audible enough? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Asha Jennifer Saraswati, for your speech. It was amazing. I really admire your eagerness in delivering the speech. Content-wise, I think it is very good, very relatable, and easy to understand by our generation generally, of course. Your articulation is also pretty clear. It sounded, although sometimes I think it sounded very monotone, a lot of added garnishes like more expressions and gestures will help you to engage more to the audiences. So also some stops and intonations in what you're delivering will help. So I think you need to learn more on that. And I think this applies to all of you guys because especially we have this limited space of communication, especially because we're doing everything virtually. Please make use of the options that you have to, through public speaking aspects, to really work your way through this kind of things. Because then again, if we cannot see you directly in real life, you cannot really see what you're doing with your hands. So make sure that everything your camera is capturing right now can actually be seen by the judges. So I think that's all. That was an amazing speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, thank you very much, Judge Amanda. Now, let's move on to our fifth participant, Ivanka Basarina Panjaitan from LSPR. Time's yours.
A minute, please. Let me get set up.
Yes, please take your time.
All right. Time starts when my hand is raised, right?
Right.
Correct.
Right. I can't see the. Okay. It's. There you go. Thank you, whoever highlighted it. All right. A lot of people have really been getting into cycling lately, even though I personally have not, due to personal reasons. I'm sure most of you have. But as everyone else, I have had my fair share of cycling days back when I was younger. And I find that the most challenging part of cycling was to ride up a hill. Coming down is really nice. It's actually, I think, one of the best things you can do in a bicycle. Going down a hill in our bicycles feels almost unnoticeable because of how quick that short amount of time is. But riding up the same exact hill is a whole other story. At the beginning of this year, we thought that the New Year's floods and the forest fires were definitely going to be our biggest challenge of 2020. None of us could have even begin to imagine such monstrosity, chaos, and destruction would come and change all of our lives in a matter of months, for some, even days. And the reality is we have been going down this hill since March of 2020. That is 9 seemingly short months of our lives. And I bet most of us haven't even noticed that December 2020 is less than 2 weeks away. We couldn't notice just how big and long this hill really is before we are forced to look at the opposite direction. And when we do, we realize that going up this hill is the real challenge as a cause of this year's uncontrolled damage. In a paper published April 2020 talking about the estimation of COVID-19's impact on poverty in Indonesia, it is found that under the most severe projection, the poverty rate will increase to 12.4%. This implies that 8.5 million more people will become poor. And this also means that Indonesia's progress in reducing poverty over the last decade would be wiped out. And this projection was based on the estimation that Indonesia's economic growth would be between 1 to 4%. Do you know what the latest statistics said? August 2020, Indonesia's economic growth is at minus 5.32%. That is double, more than double the initial estimation. Drastic action must be taken to reduce further damage, and this can be accomplished by applying fiscal policies that could help both the economic players and the consumers. But what's terrifying to me is that if this keeps going on like it is, with the highly increasing rate of poverty in our country, I'm deathly afraid of how this would affect our next generations. I am terrified that our future warriors, our future titans could fall and surrender even before their battle has started. I am terrified because when our future loses their hope, we will lose our hope for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, our ultimate hope for our future to navigate through the era is in our workforce. The key to our success is our people. We've all heard the news about the students that had to reach their schools by crossing dangerous rivers, crossing dangerous bridges. But since this pandemic, a lot of these young fighters fail to attend online schooling due to not having the necessary equipment. From not having money to buy internet data, to not having a phone at all. Ladies and gentlemen, especially at times like these, there is a clearly visible limit to what they can do to help themselves and do their best to try to reach their educational goals. Even all of us here who are way more fortunate could feel the impact of this pandemic on our studies and our finances. Well, what about those who have already been fighting so hard even before this pandemic has struck? And this, my friends, is the reality of our fellow fighters that are trying to dream as big as we do, reach as far and in life as we do. We are here stressed out, even with the resources we have. How can we not empathize with them who are way less fortunate than us? The only way to ensure our nation's sustainability to navigate through this era and beyond is equipping our youth with the knowledge they need to carry our nation to a bigger, better, and more sustainable future. And to make sure that this mission is accomplished, we cannot let our downfall in 2020 result in our incredible youths losing their chances to proceed higher education. We cannot let our undiscovered talents give up on their dreams due to their unfortunate circumstances. We must focus on encouraging and most of all giving the required support for our youth to be able to do a better job for the success of our nation. Besides brainstorming on how we can truly help and invest in the younger generation, let us shift our perspectives on our suppressive and conventional, so to say, old ways of teaching our young students and the knowledge that we feed them. Let us plant forward thinking and an innovative mindset to the younger generation. Let us shape the future by making an educational revolution our new normal. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for us to kick in our gears. It is time for us to buckle up and face this nation's uphill that we all should work together towards achieving. My friends, fellow fighters, I am calling out to you. We cannot let our beloved nation free fall further down this hill until it crashes and reaches its rut. As I believe that our problems are rooted in past mistakes, not our capacity for future greatness. Let us navigate through this era by paving the way for our future, our youth, towards our beloved nation's success. Thank you very much.
All right, what a speech from Ivanka. Boy, very emotional.
It was, I'm
I think
shaking.
I think I fell down a tier one. Here, right here.
All right, your time is 6 minutes 25 seconds.
6 minutes 25 seconds.
Right.
And of course, after each of us has given, after each participant have given their speech, of course, we would like to call one of our judges.
So for Kak Habibah, the time is yours, if you may.
Hi, I just want to say I'm amazed. That was a very nice and very passionate speech. But most importantly, something that I feel like it has to be highlighted that make speech contest different to any other public speaking contest is because we need a case. We need to build a case. Something that Rabita earlier said, that when it comes to the content, it's not just how we deliver it, but you have to have that logical reasoning. How do we build a case? For example, in your speech, you said that poverty is something that we should be concerned of. And then you said why we should be concerned of and how can we tackle it, etc. We cannot just, when we build a case, we cannot just go like, technology is bad because it makes us lazy. But why? You need to problematize that and then you have the case. That's why I think speech contest has always been challenging in that sense, but you did an exceptional job. That was really good and very passionate. Like it's a balance between the performance and the content. So good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kak Habibah, for that really important insights, because we are learning here, and not just the participant, but also us as cadets, right, Degi?
Yes, I'm learning right now as we are speaking. And
Right.
of course, we are going to call our sixth participant, Junior Lumintang from University of Patimura.
Patimura.
Time's yours.
Hi, Kak. My sound is clear, like?
Right.
Yes.
Clear.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Hold on. Please wait a second.
Right, we can see you now.
Okay, there you go. Whenever you are ready, please don't forget to raise your hand. If you like to say something else before you perform, please do it now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Best wishes to us. Shalom. Swastiastu. Nama Budaya. So first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Junior Lumintang. I studied in Law Faculty cohort 2017 in my beloved University, Patimura University. Ladies and gentlemen, before I deliver my speech, I want to thank God that always loves me. I want to say thank you to all my friends, my family, my lecturer that always supporting me, and also the committee and judges that allow me to compete in the semifinal stage in this stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this year is a special year for me. I am 20 years old, the part that I've been waiting in my whole life. In 20 years old, I feel like I can do anything. I can travel with my friends. I can make my own decision. I can exercise my rights to express my uh, opinion and etc. And you know what? This year, I have a lot of plans I have to do now. But in the beginning of 2020, there are so many problems happen and thwart all my plans. COVID-19 pandemic, digitalization era, the climate change that's getting worse. Those problems forced me to stay at home and spend my money for something that more important than traveling. But I really love traveling. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share to all of you something that really important that we should be thinking about it as a young and bright generation. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say climate change, I think it's really familiar in your ears. Climate change is a long-term alteration of temperature and the typical weather patterns in a place. There are so many impacts of climate change, like decreased water quality, reduced water quantity, decreased forest and quality and quantity, and etc. Those problems always have a relation with the human life, and the impact of the problems always give a big risk for us, no matter who you are. To solve the problems, the government always think and search all the good solution to solve it, that we can use it to solve all the problems. And in the other side, still around in 2020, the world was shocked by the pandemic of COVID-19. The pandemic of COVID-19 we found it in the Wuhan, China, and started to share to all the, spread to all the, over the world. This pandemic is not only against the health aspects only, but it's always, against every aspect of human life, economic, culture, education, social life, and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, so the conclusion is the government have to think, they have a more homework. They have to think about how to fix every problems. Climate change and the pandemic become the first priority of their program. The climate change, they have to think about the climate change. They have to think about the pandemic. They have to think about the education situation through the pandemic. And I think that's a really complex problem. Ladies and gentlemen, the last thing, I don't know, I have to say it a problem or a solution, but let me explain for you. Digitalization. Today's world is growing. Digitalization, technology began to create it to help to facilitate human life, especially in this pandemic situation. When the pandemic happened, the government make a policy to um, require everyone to do everything from their house, work from home, study from home, and everything. And I think that's a really good because it's more instant and it's give yeah, we don't have to do everything in the outside of the house. But in the reality, the application of digitalization have been not evenly distributed in every various region in Indonesia. Maluku become the witness of unpreparedness of every Indonesian people that not ready to facing the digitalization stage. There are so many districts in Maluku, they don't have a signal, they don't have internet, they don't have anything to improve their knowledge about digitalization. That's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The government, they just focusing their mind on climate change and pandemic. They don't have a time to think about digitalization problem. And I think that's a real problem. When the pandemic happened and the government make a policy to require everyone to study from home, the children in the district of the Malukas, they can learn because they don't have the facilities. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Those problems make everything in this world into that's really destruct our life. I want to say that this year is a these triangles problems here because all the problems that I explained for you before, it's have connected each other. And the government almost gave up. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever watched Captain Phillips movie? I don't want if you're not, I won't suggest you to watch it because I don't want to tell you about the story, but I want to tell the good value from the story. Its story tell us about the good quality of a leader, the good quality of a smart leader that as a young and bright generation, we have to learn from the Captain Phillips. When he facing the problems, when he facing the pirates, he's still focused and he's still doing the great thing to make sure that everything around him is still safe. As a young and bright generation, we have to think about something that we can do to our nation, to the people around us. No matter who you are the captain of yourself. You are the answer of this problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this time it's a great time to us to explain, to show for everyone our capability and our quality to everyone. And we can show for them that we are the agent of change. We are the answer of this problem. No matter who you are, we have to work together and doing the best to our nation. We have to think about something new that really we don't have to do the something big like make a big project or big company. No, just focusing your life, just focusing your target and doing the small thing with the big impact is more than enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I won't stop to speak about this topic in this speech competition, but I want to share to all my friends, all my family, all my brother, all my sister, that we are the agent of change. We are the solution. We hold the key. We hold the power. I think my speech is enough, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Best wishes to us. Shalom.
All right, thank you so much, Junior. You spent your time 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Right.
All right, what a speech. I totally agree. We are the agents of change. Everybody here in this, well, not in this room, in this Zoom meeting, that is. Of course, we would like to call from one of our judges to give a little feedback.
All right, of course, next for Kak Rabita Madinah, if you may, the time is yours.
Okay. Hi, Junior. Can you hear me well?
Yes, Kak.
Okay, an excellent speech. It's really nice to see you again today. A couple of comments for you to improve if you were to make it to the finals. And I think this also applies to everyone. First, introduction wise, I think if you have make it to the semis or the finals, there's no need to deliver a full-on welcoming greetings or basically saying a thank you to parties who have contributed to your performance, because I would prefer you using that time to be allocated for the content of your speech. So what I'm referring to is that just a brief introduction of your name and where you're from is more than enough. So because when you're providing us with introductions like that, it's not bad, but it's also not, I wouldn't say that judges are willing to give you an extra point for that. So if you could just allocate that time to focus more on the substance, that'll be great. My second comment is that I used to have a catchphrase when I blanked out about on what I was about to say. I think your catchphrase for today was the word "ladies and gentlemen." It was a bit predictable that you referred to that catchphrase when you were a bit stuck on remembering your script, probably, or trying to find out what you were about to say. And again, it's not something that public speakers could fix overnight, but it's just a mere input if you want to be an even better public speaker. Working on reducing the amount of catchphrases that you use would be a lot better. It'll sound a lot more natural. And also, make sure in your introduction you state and narrow down the scope of your speech. So do not leave the audience not knowing what you are going to discuss for too long. For example, at the beginning, I was still unsure of whether your topic was about the effects of COVID-19 or climate change as the consequence of humans' action. So it's good that at the beginning, during the introduction, you kind of made it clear on the scope of your topic. And you can either state it explicitly or you can use analogy, you could use experience, but make sure it leans towards making the judge to conclude that this is what you are going to bring today. And also, last comment, again, this applies for everyone. All 10 of you are basically great public speakers, which is why you're here now. So what's going to happen if the judge is entertained with great people? Everyone is a great public speaker. We're not only looking for the best among the greats, but we're also looking for someone that can stand out differently. So being different would leave a lot of a better message to the judges so we can memorize you after your performance. And one of the ways to make sure that you perform differently, I think it's as simple as comparing yourself to the other contestant today and see that if more than one of you are choosing the same topic and it somewhat happened that the content that you deliver is similar to one another, it means you can improve a lot more on finding substances that are more unique that we can only hear from you and you only, that basically reflects your background and you as a public speaker, something that if the judges were to look on our own on the internet, we wouldn't have found the content that you were about to bring to us. So I think the last one kind of applies for everyone. So we're looking for the best among the greats, but also we're looking for someone that is different in terms of delivery and substance. So good luck, Junior. Overall, an excellent speech, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Karawita, for that constructive comments. And next up, Degi, who do we got?
Yes. Well, let's see. We got David Aditya Stammer here from Politeknik Negeri Semarang.
Hello, everyone. Before I start, can I ask if I can use my own countdown? Is it okay for everyone if I use my own countdown?
Yeah, you can count it with your own clock. And
all right.
We can match it with our...
Just to be safe.
yeah. It's okay.
Okay. The 21st century era is a time where technology dominates the world. No wonder this era can be called the quote-unquote digital era because, let's see, almost everything in these days are based on technology and most people depend on it as well. If we think about it, of course it's a good thing because we're more moving forward in this ever-growing era. But remember, we can't forget about the many problems and challenges we face in this era as well, can we? Hi there, my name is David from Polines, and on this very special occasion, I'm going to be giving you guys a speech on how the 21st century era has affected the world in my speech titled, A Journey Around the 21st Century. So first, I would like to invite you to take a small journey to see several of the most notable things that happened in this 21st century, which will also be several of my subtopics for today's speech, starting from the rise of digital age, global warming, huge numbers of terrorism acts, racism and xenophobia, then of course the current one, the pandemic. So first, let's talk about the rise of the digital age. So a bit of a fun fact here, the 21st century actually isn't the start of the digital age. Rather, it's the time when the digital age actually reaches its peak. So the start of technology here actually began when the internet and some computerized machines were invented. So the internet was actually invented back in the 60s, but was mainly used for government and military purposes. So the real rise of the internet started when the WWW, or the World Wide Web, was created in the 90s. So here, the start of the 21st century made the internet a much bigger and wider experience for people, which can be proven like now almost 60% of people in the world are using this technology called internet right now. This actually marks the 21st century as the rise of the digital age. And not only the internet, of course, lots of other noteworthy technologies started to be invented, like the Android phones and the iOS phones, which are like used by lots of youngsters right now. So youth usually like to use their Android and iOS phones for the internet and of course social media. And the most notable social media platforms currently used by youth right now are like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which were ironically founded in the 21st century. These social media platforms allows youth to express themselves and influence people around them, whether in a good way or a bad way. So the digital era here actually provides convenience for people, especially at work. But if we really think about it again, doesn't technology also start to take away people's jobs because technology is doing it for them? So now we move on to our next destination, which is global warming. Where to start, actually? Carbon emissions from vehicles, deforestation, industrial waste, littering, massive usage of fossil fuels. These are the things what actually causes global warming signs like droughts, climate change, forest fires, animal extinctions, loss of habitats, and melting glaciers, even disasters like flooding and landslides. Mother Nature here provides us with many resources for humanity's welfare, but what do we give in return? Is this really what Earth deserves? Global warming is actually one of these problems that actually is easy to be avoided, but ironically, some people may pretend to be blind on the effects on this terrible event. So people need to start to realize that they're not the only living beings here on Earth, rather they're just one of the many species on this planet. And youth could really take action in times like these by doing acts of prevention, such as like taking part in reforestation, maybe reducing the usage of vehicles, by walking, taking bicycles or public transport, or maybe stop using plastic and littering, and maybe also create social movements to make like people aware of how urgent global warming is and how it really needs to be faced for the sake of our planet, for the sake for our welfare too. So the next event is terrorism. Yes, terrorism has been a major event in this era and also became a major challenge to the world as well, which actually all started in the early 21st century, most notably in the event we all know as the 9/11 by the Al-Qaeda group in the United States. So these acts of sheer violence, bringing up the name of religion, is still done very often by the so-called Islamic groups until now. And the effects of this, racism and xenophobia. Yes, our innocent Muslim immigrant friends, especially in the West, are being discriminated because of them. The terrorists are the ones who bring violence, but the ones receiving discrimination are these minorities. So what young people could do about this is put together like peaceful movements to show their love and compassion towards the people, because this is the 21st century, and how can we let such a primitive act like racism to continue in modern age like this? Because acts like racism and discrimination brings nothing but hate and animosity towards people. And we as human beings need to stick together to face these major challenges to come, not by adding more challenges. Being divided because of someone's skin color, beliefs, cultures are different makes it justifiable. For the 21st century with many modern-minded people, fun fact, it definitely is not. And on to the next and most recent historical changing event, the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been going on, if I'm not mistaken, for almost a year right now. So yes, this virus is deadly and already have like millions of victims and death. I don't really need to explain more in depth about this pandemic because I guarantee most of you probably already know very well because we're facing this lockdown altogether. So what youth could do in this particular situation, though, is actually the simplest of all. Stay at home, wear masks, and keep your distance from people. So after this journey of navigating through the 21st century and understanding the things going on around us, we can conclude that yes, there are lots of good things that happen, especially in the development of technology right now, which makes our lives that much easier. But we just can't ignore the fact that there are way too many of those challenges that we have been facing since like the beginning of our time. With the will and power of spirit combined, of youth, imagine changes we can make. Yes, these challenges are tough, but it is not impossible, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the words united we stand, divided we fall? If it's not us all together, who else will take on this great responsibility for the positive changes of our world, for our grandchildren, for humanity, and of course, for our dearest planet as well? I hope this speech proves useful. I'm David from Paulina signing out.
Thank you so much, David, for your performance. Your times you spent 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Right, this was a really, really great performance by David. Degi, what do you think? Right. You're still muted, Degi.
Well, I say it was one heck of a speech, but to be honest, we all know that my opinion doesn't really matter here.
Right,
What do matter
exactly.
is the opinion of our judges. So please, I would like to say, Judge Amanda, if you may.
Right, thank you, Biggie. So, David, you're actually one of my favorite from my previous judging section. You know, one who catches my attention immediately with your personality through your deliverance, one of which was mentioned by also by Vitab in how being different is actually crucial in delivering speeches. I think you nailed that effortlessly because I could really see through your personality and characteristic through your speeches. Although I think what needs to be improved in your speech is an addition of anticlimax to your matter in delivering the speech, because I feel like it was a straight on adrenaline rush, especially concerning that in speech matters, we tend to persuade people in what we have and to deliver ideas to solutions to certain problems. So I think easy listening is mostly important to still catch people's attention and just simply ease down. So I think that's what needs to be improved from your deliverance in those speech. Though I'm not sure, is it because you are standing several feet away from your gadget, but also on the other note, I figure it was a really good speech. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much for the feedback. I really appreciate it.
Right, thank you so much, Amanda, for your constructive feedback. And now, Degi, who do we got next?
Well, the one that we got next is someone from the Paradise Island.
Ooh.
So, participant I Gusti Agung Nugra from IPDN, if you make time, it's all yours.
Okay, is it clear? Audible?
I'm sorry, we
Yeah.
can't hear you very clearly.
Can you speak louder?
Okay. Check.
Right, we can hear you.
The honorable juries and the committee, all the participants, audiences. I'm so grateful as semi-finalists on this English speech competition 2020. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, as technology pervades all aspects of our life, the ability to navigate and to accomplish the text through technology increasingly grows. The research reported by wearesocial.sg in 2017, there were 132 millions of internet users in Indonesia, with growth rate of 51% just in a year. So it's as one of the countries with the largest numbers of internet users in the world, the development of digital technologies is certainly as opportunities as well as a challenge. On the one hand, it's with the ease of access information makes easier for us to fulfill our needs and curiosity. But on the other hand, with no skills of digital technology, will negatively impact our life. Today's generation appears to engage with all the things that are digital without any effort at all. They are born in interactive, on-demand digital culture when they're used to texting and then to video streaming, to internet mobile, to uh, to mention just a few. So if they used to be using digital technologies, and in the past, youth is calmer than today because they were not invaded and confronted with so much information than today with many different formats and all, as the people call it, with information overload. If we want to survive from this information overload, we need to think critically. So I believe from many other before, the only weapon to face against this misinformation and misunderstanding era is a digital literacy. And what is digital literacy? Digital literacy is how to use, to elevate, and to create information using digital technologies. And information literacy is knowing how to find, to elevate, and to manage information. And what is the concern about digital literacy is very important to filtering the information because nowadays seeing is no longer believing. With the growing wave of disinformation propagated through online platform and social network, it would be very dangerous for us. And because all of those cases we can see from this example. The first one, Vana Ayub is a journalist in India. Her life was turned upside down just because a video, just because a 2 second, a 2 minute, 20-second video of her engaged in a sex act that they had never made it before. And then her life turned very down. I mean, for another example, they act like stop writing and then close all of her social media. Another example, as published in Guardian.com on on 4th May of 2017, the Jimmy Fallon, the host of NCB, the Tonight Show, appeared appeared in cast of dressing as Donald Trump with using wig and coat of bronzer. And then in another month, there are Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, appeared to slur drunkenly through a speech. The question is, can we imagine if these same cases happened in Indonesia exactly before the election of 2020? And then the question appeared, I mean, how from those cases, what do all those cases have the same in common? I mean, went viral? Yes, absolutely. But how about the victim's life? We all agree about all of these cases I mentioned was made by a deep fake video. A deepfake is an artificial intelligence, a subset of artificial intelligence, a technology that manipulates and fabricates audio or video recording to make them uh, like they're doing or saying something that they had never done or said before. And then from those cases, I conclude that digital literacy is very important to make everyone aware of what happened currently these days. I hope, I believe, with the politically literate, digitally literate citizens, it will give us development of digital development. And then the last point that I want to concern about, we've been learning together from how the ants, of course, and the broomstick work about togetherness. On this case, I would like to use the same spirit as a broomstick for us to chase our dreams and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Thank you very much. That's all I'd like to say.
Thank you so much. You spent the time 7 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yes, I totally agree. Let us be the best version of ourselves. That is what we humans are striving to be. But without any further ado, let us call our judge that would give her insight on the speech itself.
For Judge Habibah Hasnah, the time is yours.
Okay, I was so excited when you said you were talking about digital literacy because I've been doing research on digital literacy for the last couple of years. We are comparing the capacity in digital literacy among countries all over the world and how important it is to have this during the year of technological advancement. The issue that I would like to point out, despite how nice your content was, the substance was just refreshing. I see that you are struggling a little bit of nervous, a little bit of memorizing. When it comes to memorizing, I would say, here's the thing. We should not be memorizing things word for word. What we should memorize is just the idea. I mean, like, obviously we have to memorize, right? But like we memorize, like at the point A, I'm gonna say this, and then B, I'm gonna say this, and then C, I'm gonna say this. Because if we try to memorize word for word, we're gonna struggle because the thing is you already know what you want to say. And I think like everyone else had known how does the word of like digital advancement and how to use gadgets, etc. works. The problem is putting it into words. So kudos to you, I really love the team, but maybe just a little bit practice on the terms of how you manage your nervous energy. Good job.
All right, thank you so much, Kak Habibah, for the constructive comments. And now, moving on, our ninth participant for the day, Degi.
Yes, so let us get to our ninth participant, Zalfa from Communication and Business Institute, LSPR. The time is yours.
Sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and the motorcycle that just passed through.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's better?
Cool.
Sorry. Can you guys hear me? Right?
It's a little bit loud, but we can hear you.
Okay. When I was a kid, my image of hero was largely inspired by my dad's collection of early Superman's comics. I read them all. A hero was somebody who had supernatural powers like flying, laser vision, or the strength. Ladies and gentlemen, as human, of course, we're all pretty limited in our physical powers. We don't fly, and we can't see through walls. But what is boundless in us is our ability to see injustice and take them on often at great risk to ourselves. It's entirely understandable that the national conversation has turned to a single question. When can we get back to normal? The shutdown has created a lot of pain for people who lose their job, people isolating and worsening. People are ready to get going again. Anyway, last April, I went to hospital for checkup. I saw the doctors and healthcare workers. They were tired of this pandemic. They work more than 24 hours a day. When I drove home, normally it takes only 35 minutes. But due to this pandemic, it takes 10 minutes. No more traffic in Jakarta. 2020 has been changed everything. It's quiet now, not the same as before. Doctor and healthcare workers, they leave their family for do their job. I just give a brief talk on this subject. I've been learning a lot about this deadly pandemic. The COVID-19 outbreak in the world is a tragedy. As I read this, more than 10,000 people have died. New cases are rising up every day. Has been the next one could be much worse. The world is simply not prepared to deal with disease and especially this virus. For large sample, they infect large numbers of people very quickly. Of all the things that could kill 10 million people or more. Ladies and gentlemen, during the pandemic, healthcare system left health workers in hard time, struggling with, imagine, it's struggling with long working hours and extreme psychological stress. Can you imagine to be a doctor working 24 hours and not be able to go home to meet their family? Instead, they have to stay in the hospital for the next 24 hours to take care of COVID patient. And yet, I still see a lot of people go out there not wearing masks. Health workers often have to take care of patients with suspect confirmed COVID-19 infection. And they're not complete medical recruitment. But I believe we can prevent such a thing by building a global warning response system for pandemic. It will apply the kind of planning that goes into national defense system for training, and funding for health workers. The effort to prevent and contain outbreaks, the more I learn about what it takes to respond to the pandemic, the more impressed I am by health workers who have been risking their lives to take care for the sick people. They're putting on the protective suit in huge undertaking. Once it's on, it's hard to hear what anyone else is saying. And you can start sweat after just a few minutes. And you know what? Nurses, doctors, and other health workers are struggling every day. The truth is, every time they have to handle a COVID patient, they have to take a rapid test after that. Do you know what happened when their result are negative? No, you don't know that. We don't know that. They didn't even think about going home to meet their family. They go back to hospital and help other patients. How can we help them? Stay at home, physical distancing, and don't go out if not important. Also during lockdown, most essential workers are unable to protect themselves by working from home. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is ever been a time that we need heroes, it's now. The COVID-19 pandemic has created health and economic challenges, especially for the most vulnerable among us. The good news is the many people from all walks of life are doing their part to help them. Healthcare workers, scientists, grocery store workers, fashion trial participants, and ordinary citizens caring for their neighbors. So, will you be a hero and save us all? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your performance. You spent the time 6 minutes and
I'm sorry.
6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Oh, one heck of a speech. I very much agree about our pandemic situation right now, because this thing is one heck of a deal that we are dealing with right now. And those that are working on the medical um, on in the hospital or is a medical staff is not getting the appreciation of the recognitions that they totally deserve right now.
That's
It
right.
is very that bad. And yes, the best thing that we can do right now for as for all of us is to stay at home so that this pandemic can go away. So yeah, stay at home, kids.
Right. So we go to the judges' comments, and next we got Kak Rabita, if you may.
Yes, time's yours.
Okay, hi Zalfa, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, congratulations for making it this far. A very relatable and needed speech indeed. Staying at home is the #1 rule, though I'm not trying to impose double standard because I am not at home right now, but it's urgent because I have to judge all of you. So yeah, if you're looking for someone to be used as a role model, you can pay attention to these cadets because I believe they're all at their respective homes. But moving on to your speech, of first things first, again, with the comment of being natural, I find your speech very natural in terms of linguistic delivery. However, you might want to work on a more natural gestures because it felt a little bit shaky, though I know it might be an impact of you being nervous or you know anything else. So make the gesture a bit more natural. And the second one is you have to know in terms of your intonation, when to emphasize on something and when to tone down. I do notice that you were using a lot of appeals of emotions today to the audience. So make sure that if you want to use appeals on emotion, it's not from minute 1 to minute 7 of using full appeals on emotion, making it, you know, as if you're emphasizing on every point that you're bringing up. When you're going to your solution structure, your solution section, you might want to tone it out a little bit so the audience could also calm down. And I noticed a bit of breaks between probably subsections of your speech. You know, when you're catching your breath, that kind of like proves that you're taking a break, moving on from one aspect to another. When you're using conjunctions, like anyway, that means you're basically switching from one subsection to another. Just make sure they're well structured, because I feel like from the beginning, you were kind of setting up a lot of sense of urgency, telling us how important it is to be aware of the issues that you're raising, but that also shows up at the beginning and at the end of the speech. So if you're trying to bring up a sense of urgency, make sure you kind of just wrap it up all in one section so you can move on to your solution, what we can do as the audience, so it doesn't basically melt in one speech as, you know, as a whole. So know when to break, be more distinctive from one section to another. Which one is your introduction? Which one is the time where you built your sense of urgency to the audience? Which one is the part where you tell us what the main problem is? And which one is the part where you tell us the solution is? In that way, I think the flow of the speech would be much better. Good luck to you, and I hope to see you tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, I guess. Thank you,
Thank you
Zalfa.
so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Kabita, for the constructive comments. And
Yes, thank you very much.
Degi, moving on.
Yes, brother. Let us call the 10th participant that we have today. Of course, by saying last but not least, we have Gusti Andika Pratama from the University of Education in Indonesian University of Education. Time's yours.
Okay, am I audible enough? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sore throat today.
Okay. You are audible.
It is all clear?
All clear.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, honorable judges, committee, fellow participants. Oh my God, it feels so good today to be. We have the same relative time objective. You know, our first president once said that, give me 10 youth and I will shake the world. And you know what I found out today? That according to Central Bureau of Statistics, Indonesia has 64.19 million youths. And are we shaking the world? No, of course, we are not, including me, no offense. So, and then with that number, 88% of them have, let's call what we say these little freak things, oh yeah, a cell phone. So that's why people say that Indonesia will become one of the biggest digital market in the next few decades. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but the problem is that we are a potential customer or a potential actors. You know, since the national curriculum, the government has taken off the curriculum, the lessons of technology, because the students are considered to be mastered technology. I have a younger brother, and every time he used my computer, he said, how to type, how to open this, how to open that. And I say, wow, we really are ready for the fourth industrial revolution with digital era. Oh, well, I'm not saying that they are wrong. No, there is no wrong knowledge, or there is no wrong system. There's only a system that are not suitable for us. I mean, with this system, I see my friends, even my computer engineer friends, that still couldn't handle basic computer. And this is the troops that we are counted on for the next few decades with digital marketing, etc., etc., etc. Of course, we will be the slave in our own country if we do it this way. So that I'm not saying Indonesia is poor or else. Indonesia is not poor. Okay, Indonesia is poorly managed. That's why we have a not suitable system for the education today. See, since the explosions of the internet in the 90s, and the youths that are the range of 15 to 30 years old, so that Indonesia today have a lot of Generation Z that must be ready to face the internet era, internet of things, internet basic of things, all these fancy technologies that we are expected to be ready, but yet, I think we're not ready for this. So that my suggestion that we should change together, we should change and apply a better education system to be ready to handle life. We're not trained to how to build a house or how to do basic things, marketing, etc. We are forced to accept knowledge that we don't actually use in real life, and as the result, we are a lot of students, I mean, including me before, just study to get good grades, not to face life. This is the problem for many generations in Indonesia, because yeah, we have the most, let's say, the most difficult curriculum in the world, yet we only few of us could handle it. How many engineers, bachelors, doctors are graduated every year? Let's say hundreds of thousands. But where are they now? Are they helping us facing industrial the new industrial age, the digital age? No, because most of us most of us don't use our real skill and knowledge to apply it to life. I'm sorry. So this is the problem that has been going on for perhaps decades. We need a good system that we can use, that people can use, the future people can use to face life. Perhaps some of us that are interested in, I don't know, perhaps computer can manage to make e-commerce, startups, and etc. And then those are good at serving, and those are good at doctors. But the Indonesia doesn't need the smart people. Indonesia need people that are not only smart, but also ready to apply it and help the nation. See, this is our cost. This problem are caused by little nails that we call an unsuitable education system. So when this is plugged out from our life, we will see that Indonesia will not be ready for those digital age and things. And I think that we really, I'm just having emotional times here that we really need to change our ways of life, whether it is personally or generally, to face the real life, and most specifically this the fourth industrial revolution. With this little system for government, I guess that we need to replug in the technology curriculum, but persuade the students also to use it in real life, because since this plug out a nails plug nails can make the horseshoe off, and when the horseshoe off, the horse cannot walk. When the horse can't walk, the messages are not received. When the messages are not received, we lost the war. I'm Gusti Andika Pratama, over to you.
Thank you so much, Gusti Andika. Your time is 6 minutes and 50 seconds. So, Degi, do you think we have the right educational system back in Akpol?
I think
No, never mind. Don't answer that. We can't be talking about Akpol here.
Of course we can. Akpol
No,
is the
we
best place
can't.
to study.
Oh, right. Whatever. So, to the judges we go. Degi.
Yes. For this final performance, please, the judge that would like to say something, to give an input.
Amanda, if you may.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope my voice is audible enough. Gusti Andika Pratama, can you hear me?
Yes, Judge, I hear it clearly.
Thank you for your response. You did great in merging between personal experiences and general issues that are happening in our society, specifically in education. I applaud you for that. Thank you so much for the intriguing ideas of the content, actually. But generally, I would advise you to work on your manner, because gesture-wise, it can be seen that somehow you looked sometimes confused and clueless, as if you're looking for the next word to say. And I don't think that should be happening in public speaking, specifically in delivering speeches, because then again, if we speak about manners, we speak about how you should be the one that is, that is everybody spotlighting, meaning that you should be the center of attention, the one who knows the thing that are happening in the room, and that is not shown in how you do your gestures in front of the camera. So I would suggest you to work on that. You have to look comfortable in the way you move effortlessly with your own characteristic and personality. And it almost seems like you're actually uncomfortable with the way that you're moving. So I would totally suggest you to work on that and take a practice. But overall, I think it's a very good speech. Second is probably your voice intonation and articulations. I would suggest to you, all of you, in fact, if you're watching this, to look for sources you can use as inspirations, like TED Talks or even reliable webinars that you can join. You need to watch, learn, and act how the people really have this intriguing idea to persuade people to what they really want other people to do. So I think that's yeah, the main point of what I would advise you to do first. So thank you so much. I hope it helps you.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Judge Amanda. What a great insight. I totally agree. TED Ed is definitely one of my favorite YouTube channel to get some ways in learning how we can improve our ways in public speaking.
All right. With that performance, I guess it concludes our competition for today. So I guess we will be waiting for the announcement later tonight, because we will wait for the judges to discuss about the scores. And good luck for everything that has participating up until now, and thank you so much for participating, and the best of luck for you guys, especially for you guys who will be moving on to the finals. And Degi, anything else?
Yes. No, nothing else. But I would like to say for Gusti, I think what I've been hearing also as well is a chicken dinner tonight. You get what I'm saying? Definitely chicken dinner. I'd say grilled. Um, yeah, grilled
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
great.
he means he's talking about your chicken, Gusti, on the background.
The jokes,
Anyway.
jokes aside, don't worry, guys. Now we will wait for the
Yes,
judge to
Gusti,
count the
I'm
score.
confused.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
um,
Thank you so much for these awesome performances by all of you.
definitely
Once
one of the
again,
best
thank you
ones
so
I've ever
much.
seen.
Yeah, you guys really awesome. And next, you for the participants, you may leave this room, and for the judges, we would like to ask you guys to stay for a little bit. So for the participants, if there are no more, if there's nothing more to add, you may leave the room chat.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We'll be seeing each other very, very soon. I can meet you guys already.
Okay, Degi. Yes, Ivanka.